time for Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach. Give me a call right now, please. 1-800-252-1025. Or please send in your emails at lifecoach@kzok.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let us talk to Pedro in Seattle. Good morning, Pedro.
My goodness.
Pedro?
Okay, I'm here.
You are there.
Pedro, sweetie, you need to turn down your radio.
You tell him to turn down the radio, right?
It's off.
Okay, great. Perfect. How are you, Pedro?
Not as best as I could be.
I understand that. So what's going on in your world?
Okay, well, I'm a self-confessed hoarder.
Right.
At the very least.
How is your hoarding going? Is it, usually you can tell by how high up on the walls it is, or if you're walking through trenches you've made yourself of old magazines and stuff. How bad is your hoarding?
It's not gotten to that point.
Right.
The worst issue in itself is the wife itself cannot park in the garage, and she has not been able to for the last 13 years.
How much is it encroached into the house?
Not so horribly that it's so bad.
All right, Pedro, just think about it, though. You're the self-claim that you admit responsibility on a hoarder. So you're saying for a guy who's a known hoarder, it's not that bad. But if you ask, like, say, Sarah, you invited Sarah over to your house, would she be struck by, oh, my God, look at the stacks and stacks and stacks of magazines and newspapers and mannequin heads and stuff like that?
No, not exactly.
All right.
This is the issue in itself. At least 2 years ago now, I've got a good acre and a third itself. So in our backyard,
nice.
I've got a barn that I started rebuilding, and I'm very close to closing out that project where I can move the things from the garage to make it available for her in the garage where she can park.
Right.
It may end up happening by Christmas if I'm very prodigious and lucky and hard at it itself.
Well, this raises the obvious questions, Pedro. If it can live in your garage and then it can live in the barn, why do you need it?
These are little things that I've otherwise, I just say, brought home for free, thinking that I can make use of them itself. Now, at the same time, I've also started getting rid of a lot of those things that I've realized and looked at that, no, I don't actually have to use them.
Right.
Last weekend in itself, for example, I spent $56 taking a handful of those things to the dump and actually spending my own Hamburg money paying to get rid of those free things that I did actually make use of in certain cases and that. But now, all right, well, they're eyesores in the yard, and let's get rid of them and let's make her happy. And I'm working towards that means and end.
As well you should, but are you sure you don't have another problem? During this very short conversation, you've mentioned $18, $58. Is that I don't know a better word for this. Are you a miser in any way? Does your wife hassle you about not being so tight with a buck?
We both are relatively tight. I'm just starting a new job itself after losing mine after 7 years this last January. And so, yes, we're both tight.
But no, if you're both tight, that's great, man. When my wife decides to save a little money, I'm pretty thrilled because I'll spill over and spend a couple dollars I actually don't have. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I overspent yesterday at the South Center Mall on tennis shoes. I bought 2 pairs of Nikes on the same shopping spree. That's crazy, man. I don't know what we're going to have to cut out in our life. That's a lot of money. So if your wife are doing it together, I think that's kind of awesome. Now, has your wife said threatened divorce?
Last night, straight up, she came home and she ended up finding, this is what might cause, you wouldn't even want to call the straw on the back of the camel.
Right.
She came back and found a tarp suspended over the back deck over the planned project that I have to put new stain and paint down on the back deck before winter sets in, and that deck itself that I spent 2 years ago putting new wood and stain and paint on, protecting that deck itself.
Have you seen a doctor yet, Pedro?
Well, like I said, there was a whole handful of text messages before I got home before midnight last night from my job that I'm new starting at. And yes, she's pissed.
Okay, so she's mad. You're saying you admit that there isn't too much value in some of this stuff. You can see that you have a problem here. A couple of things I want you to do. I want you to talk to your doctor, regular doctor, right off the bat. Hoarding, for the most part, and I've looked into it a couple of different times, when it's come up in my wheelhouse, that it's an anxiety disorder is the way they start up, and it gets worse or better. So I'm not saying this is the answer, but you need to see your doctor, and you need to ask him for some Prozac, or to tell him what you're doing in your life, and that, it's going to be a real problem in your marriage, and do I need Prozac? And I believe he's going to say yes, and a couple of other medications. You'll be surprised how pretty easily this is treated. We're talking about our dear Amanda Bynes in here. And Amanda Bynes, who's a friend of mine for the most part, she doesn't know she needs her meds when she takes them. She gets well. They work. I'm telling you, you need some meds, and you're going to be able to, you're going to feel less anxious, and you're going to get rid of a bunch of this stuff. The other problem is it becomes clutter. It becomes a lot of clutter, and it gets overwhelming. Is what am I going to do with this clutter? Well, you called the life coach for a reason. Here, this is kind of easy right there. There's go to cleaningseattle.com/hoarding. How specific help is that? I hope you're writing this down, so I'll tell you again. cleaningseattle.com/hoarding. And the next thing you know, your life will kind of be in order because they don't care about your stuff. They'll come in, they have no emotional attachments to a Life magazine from 1938. They just don't. And they're going to take it and they're going to get rid of it. And they're going to send you a bill for what that caused at the dump. And I'll give you another one. And that is called hoardingcleanup.com/hoarding Washington. And I just got these this morning. It's not like I knew this, but I did know the Prozac. And so the first thing you're going to do is get that stuff cleaned up, and you're not going to Jones over it because you knew you didn't need it from the get-go. It's gone. You're not going to miss it. It's going to let it go. So stop being overwhelmed by this stuff. Be cool to your wife as you can because it's a real thing. This would drive me crazy, and it would drive you crazy if you weren't the hoarder, Pedro. So I'm glad you're willing to work on it. Talk to your doctor. You need something for the anxiety. Get the stuff out of there and go to one of those websites. Good luck, buddy, and tell the wife we said hi and to hang and give you another few weeks on this. You deserve it.
Scott in Tacoma, you're the next caller for Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach.
Hey, Scott in Tacoma, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing, Danny? Long time listener, buddy.
I'm doing great, thanks.
All right, man. So happy Halloween, by the way.
Thank you. You too,
man. I got a problem that you had, an alcoholic, right? Long-time alcoholic. Been drinking for years. I put away a lot of hard liquor at night. I got a good job. I hold it down. It doesn't seem to affect me other than the fact that money and health-wise I'm worried about.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. I will tell you this, Scott, and I'm 55 now, and I was a serious hard drinker. Boy, the body is strong. 25 years minimum. I'll read people that, cleaned up their lives and say, yep, and I was drinking a fifth of alcohol for 3 years, and I'm going, really, I did that for 22 years, and their livers gave out on them. So, really, you're a genius to call, Scott, because you are going to have health problems. Your mouth could get blisters. There's all sorts of bad things that can come from abusing alcohol. I didn't get in trouble from jobs. I got in trouble with the cops every now and again, but I maintained it for years and years and years, that kind of drinking. So, what is your question for me, Scott?
Well, I heard you talk about some drug you take that helps you not drink, and I'm wondering what that is.
I take it every single day. I've been sober for 4 years now. Never been sober for even a year. Never, ever. And this is just easy for me. I'm not saying it's the right thing for everybody, but my wife, and I told her, you have to put these pills in my mouth because I won't take them, and I'll lie to you. I'll say, yeah, of course I took them, honey. Hey, look, I'm going to go to the store now, and I'll drink one of those little airplane bottles in my car and throw it out in a dumpster. Alcohol is a tough thing. She puts it right in my mouth so she can see it, so we can all be comfortable that I'm not going to drink. It's called Antabuse. Your doctor will give it to you. I've gone on the internet and checked it out. You can do it too, Scott. The side effects on this for taking it every day, I take double the dose that people think you should take. I said, is this going to hurt me? And we went to the internet. No, there's no side effect. You can take it forever, from what I know. It's called Antabuse. Again, I would say that it's Antabuse. And here's what it does. You don't feel anything at all. I hate those kind of pills where you don't feel anything, but I'll take them. And it will make you really, really, really sick if you drink. Just really sick. So you don't. That's my answer. Although, I went out to that place, Schick Shadle, the other night to give a little speech, and I asked those people what they're doing, because I still want to drink, desperately. I'd love to have a drink. they go through a thing where they don't ever think about alcohol anymore. So check it out, the Schick Shado, and see if that's the right place for you. They, I don't know what it costs, but I'm sure it's a little bit expensive. But it's 10 days, and allegedly, according to them guys, you'll never want to drink again. So that's pretty amazing. And I met a bunch of people that have been doing it for years, and it seemed to work. So good luck. The answer is Antabuse and Schick Shado. And go to meetings. They're fun and they're good.
We've got time for another caller on Danny Bonaduce Life Coach. Here's Cassie in Bremerton.
Hiya, Cassie.
Hi, Danny.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
What can I do for you?
Well, I'm coming on 150 days clean and sober,
Nice.
active in the program, and we're coming up to the holidays. And I got 2 friends that still maintain getting drunk on the weekends, and they're coming over for Thanksgiving, and a stepdaughter who's not very empathetic to my recovery.
Right.
And I got to maintain a good attitude and cook dinner for these people. So I just wanted a suggestion, maybe in 12-step suggestion, or
I do.
What I can do to meditate on having a good attitude.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you go to meetings, I've been to my rehabs didn't work for years and years, but I finally seemed to got something for 4 years. But I love the meetings. I have a good time with the meetings. And tell me if you recognize this, Cassie. This problem that you have will eventually kill you. Do you agree with me on that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Having said it's going to kill you, I don't care what your stepdaughter thinks. Shiner. You don't cook. You tell these people who claim to love you, I can't do this. You got all a bunch of booze. I have not reached a place in my sobriety. I wouldn't say this. This is a little heavy drama, but I like to be. You guys are trying to kill me. I'm not cooking dinner for you. I can't believe you're bringing booze to my house. You guys suck. Now, you can tone that down a little bit to hey, man, this is a difficult time. I love you. I hope I don't bring down Christmas or Halloween or Thanksgiving by not being here, but I have to look into me right now, and right now the alcohol is tough. Pretty soon, hopefully, I can be around it and not turn everything upside down, but I would appreciate your understanding, and absolutely everyone, because there's so much information out there now, is going to understand. Don't do anything, Cassie, and I repeat, don't do anything that gets in the way of your sobriety, because I do believe it will kill you. You can miss a meal with these guys who resent you anyway. God bless it, and good luck. That's all the time we have. That's all the time we have. That's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.